And he tells all in his recently released autobiography. As the years have gone on, he's decided to write about his memoirs. It's called Sparks Fly Upward. I'd like you to meet him and give him a nice greeting. I think you'll enjoy it. Stewart Granger, here.
You are a big man.
Tall, yes.
I never realized how big you were.
You said the same thing in your book, as a matter of fact, about John Wayne.
Oh, John, yeah, but I mean,
reading that.
you've got elegant hands.
Yeah?
John had big hands. Big head, big.
Yes, everything, right. Well, listen, we'll talk about meeting him in a second, but first, tell me about the book now. It's called Sparks Fly Upward.
Yeah.
Where did you get that
You
from?
know why?
No.
Well, it's from the book of Job.
Oh.
Not that I read the Bible that much, but it is from the book of Job. Man is born unto trouble as the sparks fly upward. And this is a book of trouble. I seem to attract trouble.
Yeah, but throughout it all, there was this great weaving of a great deal of success for Stewart Granger. I mean, you know, I mean, you've had problems, but a lot of them were personal problems with women or other things.
Women,
Yeah.
a little, don't we all? But men, mostly heads of studios. I'm a rebel, you see, aren't you a rebel? I love to fight, you know. I don't do what I'm told.
Did you find that they tried to dictate almost all parts of your way of life in those days? It was the days of the contract player, too, wasn't it, at that time? Yeah, yeah.
I thought I was a fan. I was a big fan when I was a kid. And my gods, my heroes, my Clark, I go way back, Rudolph Valentino. I thought that they were so powerful, you see, and they weren't. They were pushed around by the studios. The people who were powerful were the studios.
Right,
You know. I mean, Clark Gable had to do what he was told, otherwise he was suspended. And the whole deal was to get you in debt, right?
Yeah.
So you owed money, and then they'd say, your next film is that, and you say, I don't want to do that. And they'd say, Jim, you don't do it, you're suspended, and you just bought your wife a coat, and you own the car and the house. Because in those days, another thing is, I was coming down from New York with Dustin Hoffman, you know. Are you hot out there?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
a little warm.
a bit dusty, aren't
yeah,
it? And, he's dressed in a T-shirt and a pair of blue jeans, which was great. It was comfortable for traveling. But in our day, we had to be dressed,
That's right. You had to carry that image with you wherever you went.
Sure.
Yeah,
and that
sure.
cost, you see.
Yeah.
And also we had 90% tax. Everybody thinks we're very rich. 90% tax, you know.
Yeah.
No, it's only 50 now. You pay 50, don't you?
I don't know what they pay here anymore. I have people.
Oh, here,
that-
here, I don't know here.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean in America.
Yeah. Well, I haven't paid. Well, I better not talk about
No,
that. But tell me about more. Did you have contempt for those days, or did you love them?
No, in a way. You see, the funny thing about the book is, I thought I hated being a film star. I loved acting. I loved the film industry. I didn't like being a star.
But you would have liked the notoriety. I mean, the extra special things it gave you. You didn't. Oh.
No. Well, you know damn well that anonymity is the one thing you don't realize that you like until you've lost it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that you can't go anywhere. Everywhere you go, they say, hey, there's Don, and they point at you, and after a time, it gets you down. And that's why film stars of those days hid away in the hills in houses with guards and everything, because they, it wasn't that they didn't like people, but they're sick of people pointing and saying, could I kiss, No, it's sweet. I'm signing books now,
Did you make any enemies with this book, by the way?
No.
People, because you talk about
my
some
two
people.
wives.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, hey, that's an Aussie tie.
Little kangaroo on
Yeah,
there.
it's a kangaroo.
Your two wives.
No, my two wives, actually, the first one, you see, I wrote the book in my daughter's house. I bought my daughter a house and cut it into two. And she has an apartment up top, and I had an apartment down below so she could make some money. And she rented the apartment down below to her mother. So I'm writing upstairs, and her mother is calling up saying, what have you written about me now? And I'd have to read that's all right, that's all right. And Jean, whom I hadn't talked to, we hadn't been great friends.
Jean Simmons we're talking about,
yeah.
who you were married to, yes.
I hadn't been great friends with hers for some time because she married somebody I wasn't terribly fond of. And in fact, I couldn't stand the son of a... Anyway, she rang me suddenly in floods of tears, and she said, oh, it's so lovely. you know, it takes me back, and we did love each other, and we did have fun, and you write so sweetly, and I hear you're coming to Hollywood, so you come and stay with me. So I went back, and everybody's saying, oh, he's gone back to her. No, I haven't gone back to her, but I mean, we're great friends, which is the main thing. I think you must be friends with your wives. If you've loved them at one time, why the hell not? It's much better. Isn't it?
It's a nice idea.
Hey, there she is.
Yes, there you are. That's serious. Is she, of course, there was a great deal of drama between you and Howard Hughes over her, because he kept trying to pursue her, didn't he?
Well, he had, you see, Mike Wilding and Liz Taylor stayed with us before they were married with me and Jean. And then this mad marriage, you know, in the book, there's this mad marriage arranged by Howard Hughes through Cary Grant, because in those days, you know, it was a big thing, two stars getting married, and we had to sort of run away, otherwise Luella Parsons would get it, and then Hedda Hopper would be upset, and all that, you know, that nonsense. And this man, he was incredible. Anyway, he grabbed Jean, he put her under contract, and our agent said, you must get to know him, you know, must be nice, because he's a sweet guy, you see. And Howard, we thought, was a nice, gangling, pathetic character, and he used to come and see, and these two girls, you see, Howard liked one thing, he liked the ladies, you know, that way, and Jean and Liz had...
Oh, yeah, sure.
Very nice, and he used to stand in front of them and sort of, and they were sitting on the couch and,
look down.
and look down. Yeah. And Mike and I, thinking we're playing with a sort of rather pathetic character, said, Howard, which would you like? You know, he'd turn around and say, well, Jim, goddamn, I can't make up my mind. He said, well, you're not going to get either. We thought we were teasing an idiot. We were teasing a cobra. This is a cobra.
Very dangerous man he turned out to be.
And eventually, it's a long story, but eventually I planned to kill him. You know, seriously planned to kill Howard Hughes, because he was ruining Jean's career, he was ruining our marriage, and I was rather drunk at the time, and I said, you know, we got to kill him. Yeah. I worked out a plan, which Jean agreed to, then went to bed and passed out, and the next morning woke up with a terrible hangover and saw this darling little girl asleep, and I said, Jeannie, wake her up, you know. Do you know what we were talking about last night? And she said, yes, darling. We were planning to kill somebody, you know. And she said, yes, darling. I said, we can't do that. And she said, no, of course not. I said, well, why did you agree last night? He said, because I knew you'd change your mind in the morning.
That's right. Anyway, there is that and many, many names and a lot of very interesting stories. I've been through this. It's a terrific book. It really is. I love it. And
Well,
I'll put it over here so everybody can have a look at it. Yeah. Sparks Fly Upward, Stewart Granger.
And I'm signing at the Maya Emporium.
Are you? The Meyer Emporium tomorrow?
Yeah.
You'll be able to see him in
Put
person.
your name on it.
Listen, I want you to look at something, because I think you'll have some fun with this. We have a fellow that works here called Pete Smith.
Yeah.
And Pete goes out sometimes and he talks with kids, you know. And he's talking with kids about Christmas. And I think you'll get some laughs out of this. Just have a look. Here's Pete Smith talking to some kids. Take a look.
Well, Justin, where did the idea of Christmas get started?
Oh, at North Pole. And so we were Father Christmas, which used to make wooden toys and cars and trucks and all sorts of things.
Well, Samuel, where do you think Christmas got started?
America.
What does Christmas mean to you, Sasha?
If you're good, you get a book. If you're bad, you get a dirty book. If you're good, you get a nice clean book.
What do you do when you wake up on Christmas morning? What's the first thing you do?
Get up and ask Mummy at 5 o'clock if we can open our presents.
And what does she say?
She says, okay, but then you've got to go back to bed.
Do you ever go back to bed?
No.
James, do you think God gets a Christmas present? What would he get for Christmas?
A person to fix up.
Jeff, what would you give Bert Newton for Christmas?
A book full of gags.
I think that's such a lovely statement, that last kid, isn't it? Out of the mouths of babes. Did you hear what that little kid said? Take some notice of that. What does God get for a Christmas present? A person to fix up. Well, I wouldn't think of that. Stuart, lovely to meet you.
Lovely, thank you,
A pleasure,
Bob.
and you'll be at the Meyer Emporium signing the book.
Oh, yeah.
And if you'd like to meet Stewart Granger in person, and he's a beaut guy, you can do it over there, okay? Bert will be back here with some new and unusual products. Pete Lowe and Jeff Hale's going to play a duet and a lot more show. Hang in there. We're coming back.